Yeah, why not? Okay. Now, for this visual description, it's saying that there's 30 elements that can be found in the entire universal set. Okay, right? They're saying that we saw this notation before. The number of elements that can be found in P is 12. Okay, so the number of elements that can be found in P is how much? 12. 7 of those elements are just P and they don't overlap with Q. So 7 of them are here. So if 7 of them are here, how much can be in this little section here, everybody? Because P is comprised of this entire red bubble, you know? This entire red bubble, people. So you have this section here, and you have this other section here, this blue part here. If I say that 7 is in this red part, how much can be in the blue part, everybody? How much? Only tell me. How much can be in the blue part? Right? It will be 12 subtract 7. Right? And then that will give me 5. So 5 would be here in the middle. That sounds good? Now how many elements are in set Q? The number of elements in set Q is 17. Now set Q is right here, everybody. Set Q is this entire green section. Right? So if you notice, set Q have 2 sections to it. It have the 5, but it also have this section here. There's 2 different types of people in set Q. Now, 5 of them can be found in B, and 5 of them can be found in the intersection, right? How much going to be here in this yellow section? Well, 17 is supposed to be the total, so I'm going to do 17 subtract 5, and that will give me 12. That's going to be how much going to be in that yellow section. So 5 is here, 12 is here. Okay, so then when I want to audit this whole thing, what would I say here, everybody? Well, I would say to you, hey, how much people in set Q in total? How many people? You tell me 17. But then also when I look in the bubble for the green, I notice that I have 5 here in the intersection and I have 12 here, and that adds up to give me the same 17, right? Then also for set P, I can say the same thing here. Right? So if I look at set P is all of this section here, right? And remember, how much was in the middle? 5. Did 7 that's in this section plus 5 in this other section add up to the 12 that they said? Yes, it does. So that's a way of how you can kind of check your answer, right? So we just finished the Venn diagram. So 5 is there, 12 is here. So it's asking me what's the number of people that can be found in, and we saw this in the last video, in where P overlaps with Q. Where do they overlap? People, man, where they overlap, man? Them overlap here. You know, this little section here. How many people do we find? How many elements do we find there? 5. And that's the answer. How many elements can be found in P union Q? What did I say last time to you guys? If you want P union Q, it's just saying you want all of the elements that are in P and Q. So I would find it and I say, well, I have 7 here in this section. I have 5 here in this section. And I have 12 here in this section. And that will give me the total of 29, right? So I hope that makes sense to everybody, right? So write it down. Is that 29? No, man, I don't think it's 29, actually. Let me kind of check again. That's not 29. That is 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 plus 12 going to give me 24. Okay. Now, sometimes students fall into this trap. They look at this and they think just add up the 12 and the 17. But remember, there's 5 elements that are being added into this guy and they're added into this guy. So it's being added twice. We don't want double count. So that's why we're not going to do it that way. So you'll get the wrong answer if you do it that way. All right. So make a note there. All right. So make a note, pause the video if you need to. I want to know the number of elements, that's N, that's in P complement. All right. So let's kind of put the 5 here and the 12 here. Now, one thing I tell my students, if you notice when we did the union, it was 7 plus 5 plus 12, which gave me 24. The universal set said that there must be 30 elements in there. We have 24. Where is that missing 6? That's going to be 6 elements are not found in P and Q. Okay, so that's what that means. Because remember, when you add up all the numbers, it's supposed to get you back to the universal set. So the universal set, so we have 30 elements. When we add up this, with this, with this, we only arrive at 24. That means that there's a missing number of elements outside. Okay, so let's kind of make sure you make a note of that. All right, so let's kind of go through that. So that's 6. Now they want how many elements are in P complement. What did I say P complement means? Everything that's not in P. So I'm look and tell you, say, well, P is all of this. Don't? Right? So if I wanted to know the number of elements in P, I'm going to add up the 7 plus the 5 and get the 12. I don't want them people left. What do I want? I want everybody that is not in P. Who are the people not in P? The 12 right here, they're not in the P bubble. The 6 out here, they're not in the P bubble. So then that will give me 18. Make sure you pause the video, rewind it if you need to. All right? So let's go again. Ready, set, go. I'm going to put back some stuff. Don't worry. So 5, 12, and the 6, right? They want to know how many elements are not in Q. Well, look at where Q was. Q is this entire red section. But we want elements that are not in that Q bubble. Who are those elements? The 7 right here and the 6 out there. And that will give me 13. Yeah? So I hope that makes sense, right? So let me know if that makes sense or it don't make no sense.